What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Boy, do I got an exciting one for you guys today. We are taking a look at the newest model coming in from Vosteed. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. Before you head out, do me a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciated, everyone. And feel free to let me know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. Love hearing from you guys. So, this is the brand new model that's been taking the knife community by storm, the Vosteed Ankylo. This is sporting their new pivot lock called the Anchor Lock. This is in prototype phase as you see it here. It is currently in Kickstarter. I will have all the links and all the information that I can have on the knife down in the description. First and foremost, guys, I know I've heard a lot of questioning as to why is this in a Kickstarter phase, and I asked Vosteed that even before I started hearing people ask that question, because I like to try to find out as much information as I can, and the basic reasoning behind the Kickstarter phase is they are a small shop, guys. They don't have the ability that we may think that they do. They are not some of these bigger, massive production companies. They are a very small shop. So it's easier and more suitable for them to run the Kickstarter, gauge the interest, gauge the demand, and that sort of thing. It's just easier on them. So that is the reasoning for the Kickstarter, guys. And I would have no fear whatsoever doing a Kickstarter with Vosteed. The project will get funded. There's no question about it. Once the word gets out on how amazing this knife is, it'll be a no-brainer. You'll have no issues backing this knife on a Kickstarter. It's basically, in my mind anyway, you can argue this in the comments, I guess, if you'd like. But in my mind, the Kickstarter is basically a pre-order anyway. You're basically just pre-ordering the knife and you're helping fund the project, yes. But if it doesn't happen, you get your money back and it doesn't, it's a moot point, really. So you're pre-ordering the knife. If it doesn't happen, you get your money back. Nothing, no love lost. But this project will get funded. This is an amazing lock. This is a fantastic knife here, and it's going to be coming in some great materials. So we're going to be getting Elmax steel on the blade. We have a couple of different options as far as the coating on the handles here. I think they're all going to be coated blades, but don't quote me on that. There may be some uncoated versions. I know there's going to be a plethora of different colors you can get. The ones I've seen, this is actually my favorite one, so that works out. Now, originally, I thought this was titanium, but this is actually aluminum, and then there are steel liners in there. And we have oversized ceramic ball bearings in there, which I can bring out and show you guys here momentarily. We have this nice modified blade here. It's kind of like a drop point mixed with a sheep's foot. Kind of a sheep point, if you will. That's really what it reminds me of. We have this nice 50-50 area here. The plunge and the sharpening all looks good. You'll be able to choke right up behind that edge. Lots of control over this blade. And then you'll be able to climb right up on that tip as well if you need to do some precise, detailed type work. And then in Vosteed fashion, we have multiple ways of deploying this guy. We have the cutout, we have the front flipper, and then we have a minimal rear flipper tab here. And they all work very, very well. I like just thumb flicking this guy out, but the reverse flick works very, very well. Also, very satisfying to open this guy. Feels like I don't know the internals of this. I do know there's a disassembly out there on this guy. Forget who did it, but it feels like a true detent. You can get a nice wind up on this thing. The front flipper tab works very good as well. It's kind of Ray Laconico-esque as far as how that is done. the way Ray Laconico does his front flippers. So it works very, very well. So all things considered, all the different deployment options work very well. The finishing on the aluminum is fantastic. You have this frag pattern here on most of it. And then I like how they did this here. It kind of, you know, they have the pattern, and then it looks like they're going to continue the pattern, and then it kind of dies off. I like that. It looks good, and it's on both sides. We have no backspacer, but two, well, what would act like two massive standoffs. We have a standoff and then a barrel spacer for, or a lanyard tube that kind of acts like a spacer there. We are not going to get left-hand carry on the prototype. I don't know if they're changing that for final production. I don't know the changes that are going to be made to this knife. I'm not aware of that, if any. As it sits now, that's really one of the only things I can think of that should be added. I don't know the reasoning, but I think the top screw for the clip should have been combined with this standoff, and that would have made this even deeper. And then on the flip side, you could have put a filler tab there with, you know, the two screws, the top one going into that barrel spacer there. So I don't know if they're going to be making any changes to that or to the clip. This is their standard clip. I've seen some people, you know, asking why this clip is on here on this type of knife. And, well, that's their clip. This is their clip that they do on a lot of their models. Could I see a more premium clip on this? Yeah, I could. But then again, if you put a milled clip where this clip sits, you're going to be extremely low, guys. You'll have over an inch of knife sticking out of your pocket. So I think, you know, I might be undergoing changes, but I don't know that. I think it could be changed for the better. As it sits, though, it works very well in and out of the pocket. I've been carrying and using this guy for quite a while now. I've been wanting to do this video and been just kind of holding off till I knew what Vosteed was doing with the Kickstarter, when it was going to happen, because they weren't sure. It was supposed to be this day, then they had to wait, and it got moved. So it looks like April 6th, which is my birthday. So happy birthday to me in the future. But you'll have a little bit poking out there, the perfect amount to grab this knife and pull it out of the pocket. Good retention. Great job on this knife, guys. And then we move to the lock. And this anchor lock, guys, I don't know all the nuances. I do have some close-up shots of it, but it's hard to see, and it's kind of hard to exactly understand. But I do know there's magnets in here. I do know that they mill the liners that are in here out of a massive piece of steel, which we can bring out here. Let's bring out the steel liners and the bearings here so you guys can get a look. I'm sure they've been showed elsewhere already, but we'll bring them out here. So there's the oversized bearings, and I've been saying to myself, I think Vosteed is on to something with these oversized bearings, because technically and typically the more surface area that something has to run on, the better and smoother it's going to be. So since these are bigger, the ball bearings are bigger, the blade should actually move a lot better and smoother on these bearings. So I'm wondering if these size bearings, these oversized bearings for a knife at least, I wonder if these are going to be the future. Now, you're not going to be able to use something like this in all knives, but you will be able to use these in quite a variety of knives if, done properly. So they might be on to something with these oversized bearings here. Now, let's move into, this is what they start out with for the liners there, this solid, thick piece of steel. And then they get machined down into this guy here. And then there are some final changes or additions to this. There's magnets in here, and that is what keeps the button recessed when it's closed there. But like I said, I don't know all the little nuances of the lock in there. But one thing I do know is that it works extremely well. There's no drag on that button. You can push all the way down. You can kind of do a half push. It works really well. The other thing is, it is rock solid, guys. That is the main thing to me. You know, is it solid and is it satisfying to use? And in both those cases, it is extremely solid and it is extremely satisfying. Before we do some cutting, I will demonstrate that here. Positive lockup. We'll give it one more good one. And she is solid, guys. Nice and solid. I've been testing it, using it, and really putting this thing through the ringer. That way, when the time came for the video, I could really give you guys some information. Now, I don't know if anyone else, as far as creators who have this knife, have they been testing it? You know, that sort of thing. As far as the lock goes, I don't know that. I haven't really seen. I saw on a homepage of my YouTube that someone did a disassembly of the knife, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't even see the video, and I haven't seen anyone else do anything on this knife, so I don't know what else has been done on it, but I know on my end with this particular knife right here, it is rock solid, it is smooth, there's no wiggle any which direction. There's no movement side to side, up or down. There's no lashing. It came perfectly centered as well. And this is, I have not messed with this knife, guys. It is still perfectly centered and perfectly rock solid after I've been carrying and using this and messing with it and testing it for a week and a half now at this point, maybe even a little longer. And it's still perfectly centered, perfectly locking up. This thing is awesome, guys. I am thoroughly impressed with this thing. I love the innovation of the new lock and the new locks that are coming. And mark my words, I said it on a Metal Complex video. I believe he was doing something with the Riot pivot lock. And I said in the comment section there that pivot locks are going to be taking over. Kind of like button locks did, but even more than that. We are going to see a massive surge of these pivot locks over the next year. I've heard people, you know, kind of display their, you know, unsatisfaction with the Riot knife, you know, at least some people. And, you know, this is not that. From everything I can see, and I've talked to some people who have handled both, I almost bought the Riot one, and I'm glad that I didn't, just based off the build and the materials. I was going to get it just simply to have that new lock, not necessarily for the materials and stuff, but everything I've heard, it's just not that impressive. And I can speak, you know, I haven't handled it, but just based off talking with people, seeing that Riot one in videos and having this one, this is a different animal, guys. You know, as far as the pivot lock, it is similar, but this thing is impressive. It's innovative. I love it. We are going to see a ton of these pivot locks. Kaiser, Civivi, Kubey Knives is going to do it. I mean, everybody is going to pick up some sort of pivot lock. I'm calling it now. I've been saying it for a week or two since getting this in and experiencing it. Once people experience these pivot style locks, and a good one at that, the demand is going to just skyrocket out of this world because it's very satisfying. It's very durable from what I can tell, I mean, we're in the early stages of these pivot locks. And like I said a couple times, I don't know the nuances of the internals of this lock, but it is very solid upon early observations and testing. So if it can continue being rock solid, very fidgety and fun and satisfying to use, being able to incorporate, you know, the feeling of a true detent in the knife, this is the future right here, guys. I'm calling it now. You know, is it going to replace everything? No, but we're going to just have another option in regards to different locking systems. But you guys will have to let me know down in the comment section. Are you planning on getting one of these through the Kickstarter? What is your opinion of the pivot style locks? What's your opinion of the knife itself? I think from tip to butt, guys, this thing is rock solid. The LMAX steel is a great choice. The aluminum, keeping it a little bit lighter weight, and it's going to keep the price down. You know, titanium might be an option in the future, which if these do extremely well, I have to believe that titanium will be in the future, but that would increase the price quite a bit, you know. So anodized aluminum, it's lighter weight, it still looks really good, it's durable, so I have no problem with the aluminum. I'd love to in the future see a titanium version as well, and you can slow roll this guy out easily. So I love this thing. You can mess with it from sun up till sundown, and you have a dependable lock as well. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you're doing. Are you going to get one? Yes or no? Hit that thumbs up for me. I really appreciate that, guys. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We release new videos every single day, sometimes twice a day as well. Live streams twice a week. I would love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I'll throw up a couple new videos. Go check one of them out. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you guys on the next one.